It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your feel-good breakfast show. You are just in time because it's the Culinary Hotline Bling.
Ding, ding, ding!
That's right, Chef Clem. He is in studio to help us unpack all of your culinary conundrums. And if you have a question, give us a call. That number is 021 110 5552. Chef Clem, I know we have our first phone call. Yes. Good morning. This is Zoe.
Hi, good morning, Zoe. Speaking to Celeste Govender.
Hi, Mrs. Govender. How are you?
Fine, thank you. I just have a quick question for Chef Clem. Melting white chocolate, it always flops. I'm not sure why. I've tried on the stove, I've tried the microwave, it still doesn't work.
Okay.
Thank you for your question, Mrs. Govender. Melting white chocolate.
Okay.
Is there a trick to it?
So melting white chocolate, is Mrs. Govender still there?
Yes.
What happens to your chocolate at the end?
It becomes like rubbery.
Rubbery? Okay, so it's seized. So chocolate's very
seized.
temperamental because as soon as you add water to it, you're changing that ratio between the fats and everything that makes chocolate. So number one thing, keep water away from it. And that's why I always say the microwave is actually your best friend when it comes to melting chocolate. Sometimes when you're doing a double boiler over the stove, that steam rises and a few drops can actually go into your chocolate and then you're done. It becomes super rock hard, crumbly, still delicious, but not what you're looking for.
And there's nothing worse spending all that money on all those slabs of chocolates and now you've got seized chocolate. Is there a way to save it?
The funny thing is actually adding more water. And then just slowly cooking it down. You're not going to get 100% the smoothest texture, but adding a little extra water or extra cream or milk might smooth it out slightly, and then you just strain it out and then use the nice, luxurious chocolate for whatever you can use it with. White chocolate or any chocolate, the best thing to do is to chop it up into like fine little pieces first, into a bowl, and make sure the bowl's nice and clean, no moisture in there, and then it goes into the microwave on 30-second bursts. Sometimes what happens is sometimes the microwave still ends up being a fail because people don't have equally sized pieces of chocolate, so they have a big piece of chocolate and a small one, and then that small piece of chocolate will melt, but the big one's not, and then that small piece, the extra liquid starts burning actually, and that's, yeah, terrible. It is, chocolate, don't do that.
You don't want to waste chocolate.
Chop it nice and fine, and then 30-second bursts, and don't rush it. Sometimes chocolate takes, you'd think it needs more time, but you keep on stirring it, it'll come together. There's a saying, chocolate melts in the hand of a child, not on the stove. Gentle heat is all it needs. Nice and gentle heat.
Gentle heat, I like that. Mrs. Govender, I hope he answered your question.
Okay. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you so much for your call and question. Now, Chef Clem, we spoke about the eggs, but let's quickly do a demo to check where and how your eggs are fresh.
So, we get a little beaker of water, get your egg, pop it in the water.
That means it's a fresh egg.
It is. Do you remember the saying?
No.
If it floats, it's a nope. If it sinks, it's a win.
Okay.
Let's see.
If it's a float, it's a nope.
Yeah. If it sinks, we're winning.
We're winning.
We're winning.
We
We're
have
good.
fresh eggs on set.
Absolutely. There we go. And you can store your eggs in the fridge if you wanted to.
And if it goes halfway, like, is that a no?
I'm going to say it's a no.
Okay.
No, it's a no. Okay. So that's it. We're winning today. All our eggs are sinking. So, perfect. And you can store I saw another question on social media now. Can I store my eggs in the fridge? 100%. Yes, you can.
Amazing. Well, I'm loving the viewers sharing all of their kitchen fails. Now, one in particular posted on social media and actually commented on the platform saying she burnt pumpkin cooking it in a pot, and then she tried to cut off the burnt pieces and served it as she was hoping no one would notice, but they did.
If you were a chef, you just call that smoked pumpkin and you charge an extra 10% on your dish in the restaurant. But I feel you, I get you. And because pumpkin has such a high water concentration, high water volume, that flavor is going to permeate through the pumpkin and it's going to be done. So, cool tip, and I say every household should have these baskets. I think they're like under $100 and you end up using them so much. So it's a bamboo steamer and you can use it for dumplings, but they're also amazing for vegetables and for fish.
Oh, nice.
So, let me show you how you prep it. You get a pot, you get some water in the pot, and then you're going to get yourself a coin.
Any coin?
Any coin, I would say not a R5 because that's quite heavy. So get yourself a nice coin, this is a 50 cent. You add that to the pot and then you put, I'm not even joking.
Why would you put money into the water?
Okay, so what happens is, because your bamboo basket's sitting over your pot, you can't see how much water's in there besides the steam that's coming up. When the water starts to get low, that little coin starts dancing at the bottom, and it makes a clangy, clangy, clangy sound,
And then
you
you
know it's
go.
time to top it up. So, I love using bamboo steamers for vegetables. Number one, you're not going to burn it. You're going to steam them because it doesn't have any contact with direct heat. Also, because you can layer up your vegetables. So, to our friend on social media, pumpkin goes in the bottom.
The hard veggies you would put at the bottom.
Yeah, exactly, yes. And then green beans on the top. And you know what's also nice? When it's done, you take the whole thing to the table, and it's quite fancy. And you just like undo it, and everybody helps themselves. So, can you hear that? Can you hear the coin kind of ticking at the moment?
Yes, can you hear that?
That's what you do want to hear, okay? It's a soft little tick. I don't know if they can pick it up.
Yes, they can.
When it starts rattling, you know, top it up.
Water's
Yeah.
running low. Interesting. Okay, I'm loving that tip, and I'm loving all of the tips coming through. Oh, we have another phone call. This is the Culinary Hotline. Hello. Hi, who am I speaking to?
Hello, it's Colleen.
Hey, Colleen, what's your question for Chef Clem?
Yes, please. I wanted to know, I make rotis, but they always very, very, very chewy, very tight.
Okay.
And I want to know how to, is it my ratio of flour and water or what it is?
Okay.
I got you.
Chef Clem, let's help
so,
Colleen out.
This actually is, it's not uncommon, first of all. The reason that rotis go like super chewy and tough is because the dough's been overworked and you develop too much gluten. The reason rotis are so amazing is because of the layers of pastry and the butter together. That causes those layers to puff up, and then you squish it together. That's why your buttery, flaky rotis are also always so delicious. What happens if you end up working the dough too much? You're developing gluten, number one, and you're breaking through those layers, so you're not going to have beautiful texture in your roti. Then when you fry it, you'll see the outsides go super chewy, and then the inside might be a little softer, but it's not the right texture. So number one, work with very chilled butter. That way you'll get like a defined layer between butter and pastry. And number two, don't overwork your rotis. That's also why when you roll your rotis out, never roll your rotis out on flour. Always roll it out on oil. Okay. If you're doing flour, you're going to develop too much gluten. With an oil, it spreads nice and easily. That's the trick. Roll on oil, nice cold butter, don't overwork.
Love it.
And when it comes out the pan, give it a little squish. That's it.
Okay, I'm loving this. I feel like we should be making rotis. Colleen, I hope that answered your question.
Thank you very much indeed. Thanks a lot.
Amazing.
Okay, so I know we got two questions for the chick. Oh, no,
it's a busy day. It's a busy day.
go.
Okay, this is the Culinary Hotline. This is Zoe speaking. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Morning. Who am I speaking to?
Clem, to Mari of Cape Town.
Ah, what is your question for Chef Clem?
Yes, whenever I make cabbage food, my meat ends up all in pieces, like overcooked. How long should I cook my meat before I put my cabbage in the pot?
Ooh.
Okay, I got you.
Very good question.
I love cabbage food so much. It's amazing. Do you like cabbage food?
Cool course. Yes,
Cool
I grew
course?
up with it.
I love it so much. So, the thing is, you actually cook your meat, and the first gravy part, separate your cabbage. Your cabbage goes in last. So what you're going to do is, especially if you're using mutton or lamb or beef chuck or those nice larger cuts of beef, that's actually the most important thing. Choose the larger cuts, the stewing lamb, like I said, or the stewing mutton, and those large cuts of beef.
Would you use knuckles?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. These are meats that like low and slow cooking, which is perfect for your quail course. So what I always do is I cook it just till I can start seeing the meats just beginning to pull from the bone. And I like meat on the bone, especially with that. And then when it just starts to pull from the bone, I add my cabbage then. And then another mistake people make is they cook the cabbage for too long, and then it loses texture, and then it doesn't become actually part of the dish. It just kind of mellows into the dish.
Flat.
You want to cook your cabbage into your stew for about 20 minutes, no longer. And especially because you're going to quail course, you reheat it for days to come, because that's why people make it. They make a big pot, and it becomes lunch or dinner for a few days to come. So, number one tip, cook it until the meat just starts to pull away from the bone. Add your cabbage. 20 minutes later, your meat will be perfectly cooked, and your cabbage won't be overcooked.
Love that. I'm sure you answered her question perfectly. I'm loving that we're getting through so many different questions at the moment.
Wow.
It's a busy day. Culinary Hotline bling. Ting, ting, ting. Hello. Who am I speaking to? Oh, we're having trouble hearing our caller right now. Oh, it's Audrey from Joburg.
Hello.
Okay.
Hi, Audrey.
Hello. Hello, Zoe. Chummy, I've got a problem. I use a lot of... hello there. Just a question.
Boiled eggs. I boil a lot of eggs. And
Okay.
I've noticed that when I go to shell it, a third of the egg is practically not boiled. It's not. I've got like a gap.
Okay, you've got a gap when you boil your eggs, so basically it always comes out empty.
Okay, I got you. I got you. Okay, so
Thank you for the question.
I'm wondering, do you keep your eggs in the fridge?
I do keep them in the fridge, and I wondered if that was the reason.
So what happens is, because you normally add eggs to boiling water, taking eggs from the fridge, the outer shell or the shell is cold. So that reaction between the cold shell and the hot water causes it to crack. It's almost like when you take a hot glass out of the dishwasher and you put cold water in it, it just shatters. So a good tip for that one is, and I've got two, put a little bit of vinegar in your water first of all. So what happens is, if your egg does crack slightly and the whites come out, it's gonna, the proteins are gonna set quickly because of that acid that's in your water. The second thing is, take your eggs out the fridge 15 minutes before the time even, half an hour is even better. So two things again for that one. You bring in the temperature of the shell up to room temperature. And the second thing is, because your egg is now at room temperature, it's gonna cook evenly when you put it into the hot water.
Amazing.
There we go.
Loving these tips. Thank you, Audrey. Thank you so much. And of course, I love hearing the culinary hotline fails. I mean, have you had a moment where something went wrong?
Okay, I'm gonna talk about it. Abigail Donnelly. It's okay, we can talk about it now. So I was once on shoot with Abigail Donnelly, and you guys know Abigail Donnelly, and we were doing a braai shoot, and we were using some accelerants to get a beautiful flames, and the wind picked up as I was about to put some accelerant into the fire, and the bottle caught, and it set the side of Abigail Donnelly's house on fire.
Oh my God.
But kind of like to save myself, when it was time for fight or flight, I fought and I put the fire out.
Okay, well done on that.
So like all's well that ends well.
Okay, very
Okay.
interesting. I'm pretty sure she's not going to invite you back for a braai again.
No, she's not.
Oh. Well, Chef Clem, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge on, I love hearing and getting new tips, especially when it comes to being in the kitchen. And unfortunately, that's all of the time we have today for the Culinary Hotline Bling.
Ting, ting, ting!
Well, make sure you get your questions in for us. You can always call us. That number is 021 110 5552. Or you can head on over to social media and ask your questions there so that we can answer all of those questions on the Culinary Hotline Bling. Ting, ting, ting.